Hi friends, it's Becky, and I have a really quick project to share with y'all today. Today is the prompt at the Softflex group for Joyful Beading is make something with Softflex craftware, which is one of my favorite craftwares to use. I use it, you've seen me use it on a lot of my videos, and it's because it's a good solid craft wire. Most of the time it is a dead soft wire, so it's easy to use, easy to manipulate. The silver plated is a little bit firmer than the other colored craft wire, so it's not quite medium hard. It's just a little bit harder than the other wire, but it is still easy to use. And I've got this rose gold color craft wire that I thought would look great with this kind of purpley colored pearl and this antique copper Rolo chain, because another thing that I've kind of been thinking about is the Sundance catalog, where you had like the jewelry catalog with all sorts of really creative handmade jewelry in there, and there was an entire like a big beading party YouTube thing for looks and jewelry designs that were inspired by the Sundance catalog. And one of the designs that really spoke to me from that catalog featured just a simple pearl and some chain, chunky chain, and some craft wire. And it was like a mixed metals, like one color of craft wire, one color of chain. And I really loved the look of it. So I'm going to make a little necklace that is inspired by Sundance using some Softflex craft wire. And this is just double Rolo chain, so you can see that. This is 22 gauge craft wire. I'm going to be using that both for my focal and also for wrapping the chain, because that's the cool part about that necklace that I saw, was that the chain was wrapped with some of the wire wrapping. And I've got a lobster clasp and a jump ring to attach that as a closure. And I've got some of my wire working tools. I've got a round nose plier, a chain nose plier, and some flush cutters so that I can cut my wire. All right, so to start off with, let's get our chain. And this is just some chain that I got from Beadbox Bargains. They usually have pretty good deals on some chain. That's the number there, the wire 532 for this antique copper. I don't know if they still have that or not. But I'm going to take this chain, like I'm going to use all of it, actually, because the chain is doubled up in the necklace. I'm going to take this chain, I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to cut it in half. So let me stick both ends of, I'm just going to use the wire to help me determine the middle of this chain. It's just how I do it. I put both ends on a thing, and then I just hang the wire off of there, and wherever it bends, there at the very bottom and at the end of that, that's my middle for that chain, and that is all twisted up. So let me do it. Let me do it off the desk real quick. Okay, so there it is right there. So if I cut that link, that will give me my half. Or I could probably pry them open with my pliers, but I'm just going to cut it. There we go. So now I have 2 lengths of chain. And again, I'm going to find the half of each of these when I go to put this together. So I've got 1 length, and I've folded it in half here. And then I've got another length, and I'm folding it in half here. And we'll get the exact half once I get the pearl wrapped. All right, so wrapping the pearl, I'm going to pull off maybe 5 inches of this Softflex wire. And I'm just warming it up with my fingers before we start. And it's going to be a wrapped loop. So let's see what's about the middle of this. It's about there. So let's go ahead and bend this here. And then I can make a little loop with my pliers and bring this around. And there's going to be some space for wrapping, but I'm not going to close my wrapped loop yet. I'm going to wait until after I make my second loop. And for my second loop, I'm going to want some space for wrapping on both sides. So instead of holding it close to the bead here, I'm going to move up my pliers so that there's room for wrapping on both sides of my the pearl. Bend over the top, that way, see, there's room between both of those for my wrapping. And I'm going to do another loop over here, and I'm about the middle of my round nose pliers for my loop. All right. Now, this is the part where I'm going to need to figure out the middle of each of these chains again. So I'm just going to grab actually some scrap wire for this. I just want both ends to be on this wire so that when I hold it up, I can find the middle. And I'm not going to cut it when I get to the middle of this chain. I'm just making sure there aren't any kinks like that first time. This is going to be a really, really quick project for us. So now I can hold it up and find my middle of that chain. And right okay, looks like there's two of these that are the middle. So I'm not sure which of these loops I want to go through. Yeah, let's just remove this end right here so that I can get an even, or an odd count, I should say, so that there will be one loop out that doesn't have a partner on the other end of the strand. Sort of like a focal loop, because that is what I'm going to be putting the, where are you still on here? Did I only cut one of them? I only cut one. There we go. Because this middle part here, ugh. Did I do it again? All right, yeah, this one right here, that's where I am going to put my loop through. All right. Now I'm going to do about 3 wraps and then stop. On this side, there's going to be more than 3 wraps, but I want to make sure that it's kind of even on both sides of this, since this is like a really simple main focal. I'm going to want my wraps to be even on both ends. So now I want to do the same thing on the other side with this chain. I want to find my central loop and put my wrapped loop through it. There it is right there. I can see it. Haha. That was a little bit easier. Woof. All right, and I'm going to do 3 loops on this side. So that's 1, 2, 3, and there's still some more room, so I'm going to do a 4th wrap. And then I'm going to turn over here to the other side, and I'm going to do a 4th wrap on this side. Okay. And then a little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more. I just want to have them both on the same side for when I cut them. There we go. Oh, I was completely off camera. I apologize for that. I just was moving them both so that the end is facing in the same direction, so that when I cut it, that can be the back of the pendant. I could probably have done some really fat wraps on here that would look really great. But this is inspired by Sundance, not an exact copy. All right. So now I've got 2 strands of wire on either side. And I'm just double checking that that is going to be even. Well, maybe. Well, that side definitely is. I'm probably going to need to do a few things with evening this out on this side. This one is definitely ready to be jump ringed. So I'm actually going to copy the double loop feature of this chain and use 2 jump rings to attach my clasps. So let me grab a couple more. Then a couple for the other side too. And maybe just a larger jump ring for it to attach on the other side. Yeah. Let's go like that. All right. All right. And I do have a couple of extra links here on this side. All that trouble to get them even, and I don't have them even. I guess you could say that I can't even. Anyway, time to open this up. Gonna get my jump rings on. With both of these. Here we go. 1 and 2. So I've got that 1 jump ring. With the clasp, come on, attached. Close that up. And then I'm going to put another jump ring through all of those loops. All of those loops that I just put that through. I think it's because my mat keeps sliding. That's why I kept going off camera. All right, so through those 2, and those two, and this one. Come on, buddy. Well, it's not letting me go through the lobster clasp, so I'm just going to go through that jump ring. There we go. All right, that works for me. And let's get this one all straightened out so that the ends are even. All right, now I just really messed that one up, huh? So let's cut these guys off. I'm not having to cut off that much extra chain, and it's not like this was going to be, it's not like it'll make it super short or anything. All right. This one will be way easier to do. Chain one, chain two, and larger jump ring. And then second loop. I'm going to go through chain one, chain two, and the jump ring. There we go. Now I could leave it like this, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to grab some of this rose gold soft flex wire, which, by the way, they've got it at 20% off right now, which is usually when I like to stock up on my my soft flex wire. There's some colors that I need to buy more of because I'm just about out of. So I will be putting in an order this week to get more of the soft flex wire, because it is, as I said, one of my favorite wires to use. All right, so now the thing that makes this so inspired by Sundance is going to be wrapping the chain with the craft wire. And the example that I saw, it looked like they used like half round wire for wrapping. But I'm just using round wire because I don't feel like going into my wire drawer and pulling out my half round wire. Just going to tuck this wire in here, and going to tuck the end of this wire in there. So you've got that little bit of wire wrapped around the end of this chain right next to the pearl. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Put this through and then start wrapping it. I'm just wrapping around both of the parts of the chain at the same time. And it's mostly for decorative purposes. But, you know, that's why we wear jewelry in the first place. It's for decorative purposes. Go. And I can probably just tuck that in without cutting it off. Okay. All right, I'm going to zoom out so you can see the full thing. And here we go. It's a simple pearl necklace with a little bit of wire wrapping. Quick and easy. Inspired by Sundance. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.